Now I would like to present to you the Texas Real Estate Commission complaint that was filed against my license by Tracy Stanley. You've got his name signed to this thing right here. I want to show you. This is this man right here is Tracy Stanley. Let's see if I've got a better one. Okay, this guy right here. This is Tracy Stanley. Sitting beside him is Jameson O'Day, who's listed as a witness on the complaint. And here I am confronting these guys. This video is on my website. But first, I want to show you in this video what this complaint says. So got it here. You've got just his initials, a little summary of the violation, and then you've got his long form answer as to all the accusations against me. This section of the Occupations Code basically defines what brokerage activities are and what is covered under the Occupations Code. It says that it's somebody that's expects to receive a fee for doing certain brokerage activities. I wasn't expecting to receive a fee, and the brokerage activities that are named in that section are not nothing involving this. Nonetheless, the big issue here is regarding an accusation that I have forged government documents and signatures on these documents. And so I'm going to get into that. But before I do, I want to just show you the witnesses here. You got Jeff Law, the chief appraiser, is listed as a witness, as well as Randy Armstrong. And then you have James O'Day. He goes by Jamie or Jameson O'Day. These are all people that, I have a hard time believing that Jeff Law wanted to have anything more to do with me. I have a strong feeling that he didn't want to be a part of this, and he probably didn't give his permission to be listed on this sheet of paper. I think it's very unfortunate, but he's the chief appraiser at the appraisal district, so I guess it comes with the territory. I don't know. I don't know about Randy Armstrong. He obviously filed another complaint against me. It was all the previous stuff that we dealt with for the past year. Yeah, I don't know if he's okay being a witness on this or not. He certainly isn't afraid of making public comments disparaging about me. But then you've got these other people. James O'Day, he's sitting right next to Tracy Stanley. He seems to be proudly saying bad things about me. So he's probably perfectly okay being on here. If I had to guess, who knows though. All right, so here is the issue. First, they accuse me of forging government documents, and one of the issues has to do with my signature process. Let me just show you a little bit what that is. If you already saw the last video, then you already saw this, but I'm just going to show you anyway. So the signature process on my website looks like this. When you go to the website, you see you have to fill out a bunch of forms, go through a validation process, and then you finally get to a document here where I say, hey, I need your signature on this document. I allow people to review the document, see all the information that's populated into the form. If you want to sign it, you click this button. A window pops up, you draw your signature in, you click sign agreement. You get to review the document with your signature on it, and then you click complete request. This is a very standard thing that virtually every company accepting credit cards participates in. Attorneys and government officials and all sorts of people have completed the signature process, and I have never once been accused of this containing a violation. I think there's some wording in my terms of service that says something like the homeowner gives me permission to attach their electronic signature to the document. It might be, I might be guilty of bad grammar or something. It could probably be worded a little bit better, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a violation. Now let's go to the rest of the complaint, and that's where we find a real issue. So here's something that you probably don't know because I haven't said anything about it, but just about every year I've been doing this, helping people protest their property taxes for free, I have been attacked in one form or fashion. And most of the time, the attack is anonymous, and it's an enormous headache. But my focus is not attacking or, defending myself in this. My focus is trying to help people. And so I usually don't even talk about it. But one of the first attacks I had was this issue right here. Back in 2019, as you can see the dates on this document here, that back in 2019, I was helping people protest in the middle of protest season. And I got a call out of the blue from a property tax consultant who has a reputation for being very aggressive and very good. I'm just going to call him Bob, because there's no need to bring somebody else's name into this unless it's absolutely necessary. But so this guy, Bob, calls me out of the blue, says, "Hey, Chandler, I got a bunch of clients here that said that you're now their agent, but they didn't give you permission to be their agent. And what's up with that?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, Bob, that sounds horrible. Let me go check it out." So I looked in my system. He gave me a couple of accounts to go verify, and he gave me some other documentation so I could have something to reference. And I looked at it and said, "Oh my gosh, man, I think that you're right. There's an issue here. Somebody has forged the signature on a bunch of these documents." And so I quit accepting signups immediately. I went and spent probably 100 hours validating doing additional like manual auditing on every single thing that we have. And what I started to notice is that there were certain irregularities in some of these documents that contain the forged signatures. Like, so the forgers were doing certain things that had similarities, and so it clued me off. And so it was kind of like I was like a little data investigator. I would find one irregularity, and then I'd find all the accounts that had that same irregularity, and then I found, okay, well, there's a period here, there's capital letters here, or there was a typo here, and once I found those consistencies, I was able to identify a bunch of these. So Bob brought about 200 accounts to me and said, "Hey, these, I believe, are not legitimate signatures." I took all of those. I did all that research I just talked about, and I found that actually the problem was bigger than he thought. It was about 300 documents that had this problem. So I quit accepting the signups. We did all that. We resolved every single issue that we possibly could. And I bent over backwards. I worked with him. I was cooperative with the appraisal district. We were all a victim of this issue where somebody else was forging these documents. He knew that I didn't have any motive to do this. I wasn't making any money off of it. It was just causing me trouble. But he also saw that I bent over backwards to resolve the issue. And his clients saw that too. I didn't have a relationship with these clients. They didn't know me from Adam, but they saw that he's somebody that they can trust. And they saw that my name was in this, but understood that I did it for free, and I was cooperating, and we did everything we could. And they gave us some grace. They just saw that there is an unfortunate thing that's happened here. We're all a victim, and we're going to do everything that we can to solve the problem. And we did. We resolved every single issue, so much that Bob didn't feel it necessary to file a complaint against me, because he knew I didn't do anything wrong, wasn't intentionally forging people's signatures and falsifying government documents like I'm being accused of. The homeowners understood that too. So none of the homeowners filed any complaints. And so manually went through and audited every account. We resolved all the problems. As soon as that season, any additional signups that we took that year, we did a more extensive process to just talk to homeowners and do different things to make sure that everything was on the up and up. And we didn't have any other issues. Later that year, I completely rewrote all of my software and implemented additional validation processes so I could basically do audits in real time. And if there was ever an issue like this again, I would find out immediately. Then here's the thing, there hasn't been an issue since then. That was in 2019. And Bob is not a party to this complaint. Somebody completely unrelated, Tracy Stanley and Jameson O'Day, who's a witness on this. Tracy Stanley is the one that filed the complaint. He had no interaction or involvement in this whole thing. What's happened here is Tracy Stanley was looking for dirt against me and wanted to smear me, and he heard about this incident, and so now he's making a big to-do and causing me trouble, so I have to defend myself against these baseless accusations. And so that's really what's going on, and that's what you're seeing here. I've redacted a bunch of this stuff. Let me show you what you're looking at here. Here's a quote from the homeowner saying, "I didn't ask, I don't know Chandler. The date that the forgery happened, you can see there's a lot of consistency in the dates. That was one thing that tipped me off. It happened in a certain date range. And then you have the fake signature and the real signature. And this is the evidence he's using. I don't refute any of this stuff. I think that there's a problem with all of it, but it's a problem that I am a victim to. And so there you have it. Let me read something for you that's kind of revealing, I think you'll find it helpful. Okay, so I've got an email here from Bob. Bob is not his real name, but I'm trying not to involve anybody else's name that doesn't have to be involved. But there's also an investigation going on with my license here, and I'm doing everything I can to just try and keep the help everything go as well as it can. But here's an email exchange between me and that guy. When I said, hey, Bob, your name is in this complaint, because this is obviously accounts that you were involved in. And here's an email exchange that I had with him. He said, you should know I intend to tell the investigator that I don't believe you signed fraudulent documents. I will also tell them how cooperative and timely you responded to the problem once you knew about it. There you go. And so that's from the actual guy who was affected by this, of the other property tax consultant that was another victim in this. But there you go. If you wanted to cause someone trouble, this is a great way to do it. Wasted a tremendous amount of my time, and I've got a couple ideas on who might have been behind the fraudulent signature thing way back in 2019. It'd be great to get to the bottom. It would be great to get to the bottom of that and all of the other attacks that have happened. And hopefully, I won't have to keep dealing with this once we get done exposing all this stuff and whatever you say. I don't want to say too much, but I'm if we've got evidence of somebody behind something like this, we're going to take care of it so that we can continue helping more people, because that's what my passion is. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.